might even point out behind you, Eli, as you're looking up, the structure you see there in the windmill. You guys know what that's for? How to use that?
Pump water.
Pump water.
Pump water out of there. There should be a little wooden bar coming down from the top and hooked to the top of the pump. That's how that works.
Flow and
Saves a lot
pump
of
water
energy.
out.
This cupola would have been on the top of the barn. The air would have come up through it to aerate the barn, the air flowing. The barn was a very important building. Often it was built before the house because your life depended upon your livestock, raising things. So this is really a hay barn. This barn originally never had a hay loft. They'd bring the hay in and then drop it inside of there. And the livestock would have been on the outside through here. The stuff you see in here, of course, is old farm equipment and tractors.
You might point out a few of them because as we're sharing it with people around the world that may or may not have ever seen.
Things that I've restored. This particular one is a Dempster planter. It's horse-drawn. You put your seed in here. This disc would have cut a little opening. Seed would have dropped in it. These two discs back here would have closed up the furrow to cover the seed. Of course, horse-drawn. This is a single plow we call a sulky because you ride it. It has a single row that it plows. This is a John Deere. Let's look at some other stuff. This is a monster. This is a disc sharpener. If you're not sure what a disc is, that planter over there had small ones, the larger one. It's a disc. Put that on this pedestal right here, turn the wheel and make it tighter, and the tractor and the belt would have run this machine and it would have flattened, push pressure and flatten these edges and sharpen them. So it's a disc sharpener. Extremely heavy. Very heavy. This is Levon's buggy that he ran into a car with. Didn't you? Yeah, he was racing in the parade, and he ran into a pickup. This buggy. The horse survived, he survived, the pickup survived, so we're all okay with that. The one horse, right? One horse buggy. I'll let you tell me what this is for.
Plow.
That thing right there. It's called a green bone cutter, but why?
Cut something.
What do you put in it? You put chicken bones in the top. And you turn the wheel and it crushes the chicken bones up to really small pieces. Then what do you do with them? You feed the chicken bones back to the chickens. It gave them calcium because bone is calcium, right? That made the egg shell strong. That was before we used oyster shells. That's how they got calcium back to the chickens.
There's still some ground up chicken feathers and chicken bones that are in like dog food for certain grains.
Early plows are called beam plows. The beam, of course, is this wooden arm out here. This is a short beam. This would be a long beam wooden plow. All of these things are seed cleaners. Of course, you know about manure spreader.
But what? You might highlight that.
Nothing was wasted. Everything was used. This was the fertilizer, original fertilizer for the fields. What you did, you recycled. So recycling is not a new thing. I mean, the early farmers recycled everything. corn stalk. Little feed box, where they had grain on the right side, where they had loose hay in the middle. And the little hole in there is where you would have around the horse's neck and put it through there and put a knot so the horse couldn't leave when it wanted to. Of course, the old tractors. This is why most farmers turned deaf. Because tractors were very loud, like the train coming through. I showed you the disc sharpener, remember? Here are the discs. That's to sharpen them. The disc, of course, made the ground cut up and made it softer to get ready for planting. This is a little two-cylinder engine. Rather rare, kind of expensive. That would have given them energy and motor at one time. Here's a one-man saw. You hook that part over a big log, and one person then works the lever back and forth, and it's supposed to saw. I would hate to use it. That's what they used it for. This is an unusual piece of equipment called a between-row planter. When your corn was already growing and it was up, and you wanted to plant more between the rows that were already there, you would use this pulled by a horse. A horse. It's called a between-row planter. The whole thing comes apart for cleaning. It's really a unique piece of equipment.
And that binder over there was before they had combines. They used to cut the wheat, and it would lay down, and then they put a string around it, and they call them bundles.
You can go ahead and put the camera.
And then they'd have to take a shock on, handle all those bundles by hand, stand them up, put the heads up. Then they'd come through with a hay wagon, throw the bundles in, and take them over to the thrashing machine and pitch them into the thrasher. And that's why they call it combine, because it combined all those steps into one step.
You got your hay rack out of the straw, your haystack out of the straw, and the grain went to a wagon, which you hand shoveled into a granary. I did all that, shocking and everything else. I was pretty young, but I did it. This is a corn stalk cutter. Most farmers didn't have something like that. Do you have any questions about anything you've seen?
I'm going to have him kind of point to the where it says the birthplace. Hold your
Oh,
camera.
sure,
Okay.
sure.
And if we can kind of highlight.
We didn't go to the middle, did we? Do you all realize that Inman was called the harvesting capital of the world? There were more harvesters that went out harvesting in other states than any other state. Cutter was invented here. A lot of things were invented in Inman. They were pretty ingenious people. Albert Balzer basically and others built this particular cutter as a self-propelled cutter, which is unique for its time. This is what he was talking about as a binder. This is a McCormick Deering binder. I actually pulled one of these with a tractor. I also ran into this with my head one time and cut my ear. It's sharp. But McCormick invented this, and it saved a lot of time because before this machine, they had to hand cut all the grain stalks and then put them together and tie a twine around them and then stack them up. This solved all that hand cutting and tying because it did it for them.